we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun.
Hello and welcome to my studio. My name is Igael Tumarkin, and today I want to share with you the process of binding one of the first books I ever published with my father at Even Hoshen Private Press. This was back in 1997. I have a few more copies unbound, and that's a great reason to make a video. This is a book of poems by the poet Else Lasker-Schüler, a very famous German Jewish poet. The book was printed in a bilingual edition, and that is why I decided to make the French link stitch a sewing technique that allows the book to be opened flat on the table without the interference of a spine. I will tell you all about it while working because we have a bit of work to do, so with an idea in mind, let's bind. I will start with trimming the pages on the top and bottom sides. I would line it up here and start cutting manually with my fingers. That is why I leave my fingernails long. I decided to make this binding with deckled edge all around because this paper, the Bavaria Buttonpapier, has its original deckled edge at the forward side, and I wanted to continue that at the top and bottom. This book is very special to me as it helped me go out to the world. I remember my father and I decided to go to the Frankfurter Buchmesse, an enormous book fair. Imagine a city of books. And there, in Hall 4.1, we found that we are not alone in the world. We met kind and talented people and we felt welcome. Attending this book fair and meeting all these wonderful people really opened the doors for me to my next chapter in my art journey. I was invited to exhibit my art in Korea, Switzerland, England, the US, Australia, China. All of this happened from meeting people at this book fair, and I found myself coming each year for 9 years in a row. This was from 2004 to 2013, more or less. As you can see, this is a very long process that takes hours, but for me, it's like meditating. I'll move on to cutting the works of art This is printed on Arch paper, 160 gram. I'm going to mark 4 centimeters from the top side. On these prints, we added another layer of selective shellac, giving the prints more depth. Also, the original artworks are collages, and the shellac imitate the originals. Now I don't need to get confused, so I need it in a German opening. So I'm going to cut this side 2.5. So this fold is going to go inside in the signature. I'm going to plant it inside. And I want this side to be cut with a knife, not a decal edge. So I'll mark myself 1. If you're thinking to yourself what I'm holding in my hand, this is a needle just connected to a piece of plastic. And the reason I'm using a needle and not a pencil is because the point of the needle is always the same thickness. And with the pencil, it can change, and we want to be very exact and precise here. Now I'm going to insert in the right places the blue writer. This is George Ross. Ein blaues Klavier. Moving on to making the end papers. I'll take the desk jacket and I'm going to cut it 2.5 from here. Now I'm going to glue the cover and connect it exactly in the fold. I'll give it a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare a piece of Filmoplast. You can usually find it in a very small, like 2 centimeter wide, and this is to repair documents. It has an adhesive on it, and with heat it connects to the document. I have a very big roll of it. I think it's 20 years old, and you can see it is suitable for restoring papers because it is white as when I bought it. So you wait here. It's a bit thicker. As you can see, the longer the piece, it's easier to cut it to the decollage. Now I'll bring my tacking iron. This is a nice piece of equipment. It is hot and it helps apply layers, gluing, straightening papers. I'll bring the Filmoplast R and I'll start connecting. The reason I wanted to cover the desk jacket is because I think the chromo paper looks too plain for the Bavaria Buttonpapier, and I like the texture that it adds. For the finished result, I might actually cut out some pieces from the Filmoplast to make it look like the original artwork, which is a collage. But I will experiment with that after the book is finished and probably after the box is finished too. I'll trim off the edges. I'll give another pass all around. Okay, moving on to making holes for sewing. (1997). The template is exactly in the fold, and each time I'm closing, it gives me 45 degrees, and then the point of the awl goes exactly in the fold. And the last one. Try not to move it so much. Now it's sewing time. I'll bring my thread. I'm going to take 2 times. I don't want the whole thread for the whole binding. I'll connect the thread while working. I'll connect the needle. And it's connected. If you don't know about this trick, I will add a link to a video I made about this trick and some more. Let me start from the right side, from the outside. I'll bring a weight so the edge won't move. So this is the first signature. Put one on it. When sewing a French link stitch, each station you go out of the book, you connect the thread to the signature underneath, forming a beautiful X to the sewing structure. And at the head and tail of the book, a kettle stitch is made. always pulling towards the direction of sewing. Double knot. You see how I sew the print inside the book. And now the kettle stitch. Making a loop and needle inside the loop. So here we are with the final result. Let's take a moment to appreciate what we have bound. Ich träume so leise von dir, Else Lasker-Schüler. So as I said, there's only 120 copies of this book. The artist is Tumarkin, and he has also an original 3-colored etching in this book. And look how beautifully it opens flat on the table. But this book deserves a box, and that's exactly what I'm going to make in my next video, so stay tuned for that. Also, if you would like to purchase a copy of this book, do let me know, because at this point I have several more copies unbound. Thank you for watching and for being here and supporting this channel. I'll see you in my next video.